it never looks as good on camera as it looks in real life. Hey guys, this is JVH-Comix. Today I'm doing an outside video. It's getting a little cramped inside today. I figured I'd take it to the streets. Well, more like the grass. Anyway, today I'm going to do another how-to video. And today I wanted to talk about something really important to comics, and that is the paneling. The paneling is basically the viewpoint on how we see what's going on in the comics. There is a lot of information about this, but I'm just going to give you guys a quick rundown. There's people like Will Eisner that can tell you way more about paneling than I even begin to fathom. So this is just for the really new guys who want to get started in comics and maybe are a little confused by the paneling. So basically what's interesting about paneling is it doesn't really have a lot of set rules. There are examples in paneling that work better than others, but pretty much you can do whatever you want when it comes to paneling your comic. I'm going to give you a few styles of panels that a lot of people use. These have been established to work well. They're very basic, able to tell your story. But if you really want to get better at paneling, I suggest you go and read a lot of comics. Read comics that you like. If you like the 90s action, go read a lot of those. They have more action-y, extreme type panels. If you like more basic storytelling, go back to the 60s comics. They have really basic paneling, but it's good enough to tell the story. So anyway, let's get into it. The basic type of panels, excuse me with this thing, are basically just boxes on a page. Normally, you want to have, I'd say, in between 1 to about 7 panels on page. You can have a little more if your story calls for it, but if you have too much, it's really easy to get a cluttered looking page. You want to make sure you can get your story across without visual clutter. So this is one type of panel. It's just a small panel in the Spider-Man comics that I showed in an earlier video. It's you'll see this kind of panel a lot. It's big enough to get some story across, but small enough not to take up too much space. These are kind of 2 of these connected into one. This gives an easier view of, let's say, scenery or horizon, or maybe something big happening. You can show it in a larger area. There's also these long boxes right here. I've seen people use these to get a grasp or a scope of how big something is, how tall something is. You can use it on very tall buildings, tall machinery, large objects. You'd like stick characters right down here with a big large object right in there, and it looks really cool. And usually when you use these type of panels, you can stick 2 of these on the side right here, so the reader will look at this, then jump over here, and then go down to this one, and then jump down and look at this right here. Another type of panel that Will Eisner liked to use a lot is a blank panel. These are actually no panel at all, and normally just have characters and objects standing around in here, and we'll probably get a scope of how large an area is in relation to other things. So like, let's say they're at an airport, it kind of shows the bigness of the airport, while these panels right here have a more rigid kind of enclosed space, showing more of enclosed action, maybe like inside somewhere, you know. And you can also combine 2 layers of panels to get a really big, like, half-page splash page, or you can even have the whole page as a splash page. A lot of times the front cover is just one big panel. So those are like the different types of panels that you can use in your comics. I would suggest just kind of employing, just kind of mixing and matching these kind of panels. I'll give you some examples from my unfinished comic, Captain Cool versus the Destroyer. I've yet to finish it, but I am currently working on it. So this is the first page of my comic. We see the hero walking in, seeing a robbery, going in to change into his superhero persona. And here I just use these basic panels like I was showing earlier, just little boxes to kind of show a normal mundane life. I didn't have too much information I wanted to show on the page, so I figured these boxes would get the story across enough, and I wanted this to kind of be a more epic kind of page, a bigger deal, so I employed one of the long panels and had the character breaking panel, which shows powerfulness or greatness. Skipping on these other ones, I apologize these aren't finished, but right here I employed 2 smaller long panels just so I could put all the information I wanted. This establishes where we are, and then this establishes the 3 bad guys who robbed the gem store. Right here I have a really big panel with Captain Cool breaking the panel to show how big and cool he is. This is actually not a panel right here. This is a blank. There's no edges. It's just the characters. And I have these little inset panels that you can do as well. These kind of show little small actions within the action. This is a guy getting a gun from his pants and pulling it out on the hero. This part is something one of my buddies suggested to give more action into the scene, and that is to stilt everything. If you notice, everything's kind of stilted at different angles in the panels. They're not all straight across like my other ones. And I wanted this to feel action-y, to kind of feel like something unexpected, and that's where these lines come in. They kind of show more action. So I got the guy shooting at him, he dodges and punches, guys pull out the knives, and then here's another really big one, because this is a big scene I want to show of them all trying to stab and hit Captain Cool, but he dodges and grabs this guy. So those are some examples from my own comic. I'm not an expert when it comes to comicking, so this is just the basic knowledge that I have as an amateur comic book artist. Like I said earlier, if you really want to learn a lot about panels, pick up Will Eisner's graphic storytelling book. I'll put a link down in the bottom. It's really, really good. He describes paneling a lot from his experience doing The Spirit and other comic books that he wrote, and he is very, very informed on the subject. So this was just a little basic thing to give you guys some knowledge on how to use paneling. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate anybody that watches my videos. I'm trying to learn myself by doing these videos. If you guys have any critique or suggestions on how I can make these videos better, please let me know. I'm always working to be a better entertainer and present my information in a better way. If you like my stuff, please subscribe. I'm really grateful for all you guys watching this video, and this is me signing off.